Well, hello and welcome people of the internet to Net.Attack. This is a hacker skill themed bullet heaven with a very strong spell building aspect to it. A lot of these like if this, then that, or when this happens, this happens. There's a lot of different nodes that we're going to be using to kind of do, when you do this thing, then do these two things. Really cool. So let's go ahead and jump in and check it out. There is a demo available if you'd like to check it out for yourself, of course, after checking out the video. But anyway, so we're going to jump into Nymera, which is the first location. This is just the tutorial map. Jump in here. We're going to jump into the second security level. I'm going to be honest, the first one was extremely easy. I think you could do it literally, possibly without ever picking up a weapon. But let's jump in here. We've got two different characters. Looks like we just unlocked this one. This Zeusel is the only one that's actually available. Nobody masters ping nodes like Zeusel. And so we're going to be playing with Zeusel here, since this is the character you'll be starting with, so you can get an idea of how it works. So how the game itself works is we're basically, I'm assuming we're in a computer here. Or on a mother, I mean, it's not like what a real motherboard looks like, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. We're going to be basically going around and collecting all this data. That's basically what we're doing. As a hacker, we collect data. So we have all these different nodes here. Obviously, the bigger the node, the longer it's going to take to collect. As we're collecting it, you can see up in the top right, our meter is going up. Now, once we reach 600 data, then basically just like now, we can just exit the level if we wanted to. Otherwise, we could continue around the level and pick up more data. Now, depending on where you're playing, like if you're just trying to get through the game like I was on the first level, you probably don't have to collect all of it. I don't know how difficult this difficulty level is going to be compared to the first one, but on the first one, probably don't need to collect everything, and you can just, once you get your 600, you leave. We do level up as well, so we get bitcoins, or bytecoins, I guess they're technically spelled, from enemies dropping, and then our experience is up here, and we level up. I am going to take probably just no damage, so we do a little bit more damage. And I'm also going to collect up full, just so that way we have as much data as we need. So that way we can play around with the node system a little bit and show you guys kind of how that works. And so I don't want to be shy on that. Although defeating these guys, I don't really need to worry about. Leveling up isn't so much of a big deal to show off kind of what the game can do. It's more so we just need to make sure we have enough data to actually get that done. So we go ahead and escape, and we enter the shop. So once we enter the shop here, we get to pick a premium node for free, and then we have our shop here on the right. For us, we're starting here with an on-tick and split ping. Now, I took a little bit of computer coding classes, mostly just Java in college, but I'm not sure if these are actual terms. I know if they're like worded in similar ways that I've seen before, but I think this is going to be the biggest hurdle for a lot of people. It's just looking at, it's almost like looking at a different language. So there's going to be certain things that are not fully intuitive to your brain, but once you hover over them, it tells you exactly what you need to know. So for example, here we have an on-tick node, which basically means that every 0.85 seconds, we can do these things. Right now, we only have one thing that we can do. It goes into an in node, which basically means that once the thing before it happens, then this thing happens. We have a split ping, which is going to fire a single laser to the nearest enemy within range and deal damage to it. It executes following two nodes in parallel, using the hit enemy as the new executor. So what that means, so for example, this shoots out a laser, right? We can pick up, what do we have here? So I'm actually gonna, let's see. So take this. Once you pick one, it refreshes, and then I'm going to take a ping near. Okay, so this is kind of what I was looking for. So what I can do here is do this. Now there's two different ways I could do this. I could either connect this ping near to this one, or I could do it to the on tick. This is going to give me two different outcomes. This outcome that I have right here, we're going to shoot a laser. Let's say that this is an enemy, and let me also grab on extracting chip data. Sure, let's do that. So let's say that these are two enemies, and this node is myself. In this configuration, I'm going to shoot a laser to this enemy. It's going to hit that enemy, but now this enemy is going to become the new executor. We're then going to ping near, but it's going to shoot a laser from this guy to this guy. The other configuration that we could do is we could do something like this, which would then do both of these simultaneously, hitting potentially one of these, whichever one is most near. So depending on how you order your nodes is really going to determine how things work. Now, one thing you might have also noticed is if I do this, it's also going to increase my on-tick time. I'm just going to do this for now. What we can also do is we can do a little bit of damage in range, so we can go ahead and do that. So now every 1.15 seconds we're shooting a ping, but we're also doing damage in range. I'm not sure how I'm going to use this on extracting chip data, though. We do have a sequence, so it does one after the other. I'm going to be completely honest, guys. There is going to be people who are going to be much better at doing all this than I am. I'm sure that some of you guys are going to be way smarter than me, and I'm going to do this. So now this is going to shoot out a ping, and overclock says so basically it's going to overclock the target. So I'm assuming that, let's see. So I'm assuming this target is going to be from this, and we're going to be overclocking. Overclocks the target for 3 seconds. Damage dealt to the overclocked unit is doubled. Right? Because if this... the thing that's confusing me is that this is going first, but there's no out. Right? So it's not like we can do on tick to overclock to split ping. I'm assuming we have to go split ping to overclock. And so this kind of like changes the split ping to have an overclock effect. I don't know. I'm sure some of you guys are way smarter than I am and will just be able to like make some stupid busted builds, which would be super cool. But for me, I'm just going to make like the most busted ping build that I can and just go completely like basically make a chain lightning build. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do a complete chain lightning build. Let's go damage. Well, this is damage in range increase. I'm going to go with data upload speed, just so that way we collect the data a little bit quicker. Data, I don't know. You're going to hear me say both. I say both. A lot of it is just context based. A lot of it is like sentence structure based. I just kind of use both. Don't come at me. It is both. Tomato, tomata, aether, ether, you know, all the things. All right, now we can't exit. I'm going to collect just a little bit more here. And honestly, that's probably good. Yeah, so you can see now as we shoot out, actually, let me move back a little bit. So you can see now that the pings are shooting off. And actually, you can see now there is a modifier there on the enemy that's closest to us. So he is overclocked. So he's going to take a little bit more damage. You can actually see that. So you see that first enemy is getting applied overclock. The second one is not. Let's go for node damage. This is going to increase the damage of our nodes. And then we escape right through the exit. Damage in line. Spawn a fire beam in one direction. Inflict damage to each enemy hit. Or, this is a fun one. Execute the following code multiple times. So let's go ahead and take that. We're going to move these down. We're going to break that. So now we're going to fire 3 pings that are all going to apply overclock, and then it's going to bounce off into a ping near. Let's see. So we could do another on tick if we wanted to, rather than on extracting chip, because I don't know exactly what I'd want to do this for. We could just grab another. Let's just grab another on tick, because the reason I want to do that is because I might want to do something like this. So that way we make this a lot, right? 1.35 versus 1.45. So we can just decrease the cooldown of this a little bit, because this can kind of be our ping node. All right, so let's see here. We have another on tech. We have an overclock. Ping overclocked. So we could specifically ping overclocked. So let's do that. So these will happen simultaneously. Actually, what we can do... Oh, no, what I was going to say is I could put this after this split ping, but I can't, because these are going to happen simultaneously. And so it can't and it makes the overclocked unit the new executor, and it can't hit itself. So we'll just do that. Or I should say, I'm assuming it can't shoot itself. Ooh, some big coins. Let's get them. We got to invest early. Upload speed. No, let's go for ping damage increase. Now, one thing I haven't noticed, I will mention this, as for the first threat level, there was no boss of any kind, so I'm wondering if that's going to increase on this threat level or not, or if that's going to increase, if that's actually going to happen on this level or not. I'm also a little bit surprised that the amount of layers didn't go up. Five levels is pretty short. Okay, so what do we have here? What can we do? Let's move this over here. We have scan for data chip. I don't really care for that. The maps are small enough that I don't feel like this is at all necessary. We could ping not overclocked for a ton of damage, which... how would we best do that? I mean, I suppose I could just put this on an on-tick. Or... so we can actually do something like this. So now we're going to ping the overclocked, and assuming, let's say they survive, although maybe this isn't the best way to do it. Maybe I want to do this. Because I'm assuming that maybe even if they're dead... excuse me, that was gross. Although maybe I should even do something like this. So that way we're shooting out 3 projectiles at a time, as opposed to hitting this, because I don't really care about hitting this then bouncing off. There's no real reason for that. Whereas doing this, we're just shooting out 3 at a time. But now we're going to shoot 3. So basically 3 times we're going to shoot a ping out. And then each of those pings, for each enemy that it hits, they're also going to do a damage in range attack. And there's no sense in doing an overclock. We have a pick your premium mode. We have a damage in line, which I suppose we can do. Spawn on chip. Yeah, let's grab the damage in line. And then let's just push this down. Let's do this. Let's do this. There we go. And let's go ahead and start hacking. There is a message you'll see down in the bottom left, disconnected nodes detected. But that is just the node that we know is not connected, just whenever we collect data. Let's go no damage. I mean, this game has a very calming, chill, like atmospheric soundtrack to it, which is, oh, okay. Now we've got some enemies. This is kind of the first time there's actually been a reasonable amount of enemies. Like I said, the first level, I think you could probably do it without taking a single damage node. This is the first time that I've been like, oh, okay, there's some enemies here. Right here. Let's swing around here. Maybe we're not. Wait, why are we firing so few? Oh god, I didn't realize they explode. Okay, we're escaping. We're escaping because where? Oh my god, it's way down here. All right, we are escaping because I've ran my mouth too much. There we go. Okay. So. Now, why is it? I feel like this was not going off. It just felt like this wasn't firing as much, or it felt like I wasn't firing a whole bunch of projectiles. Did I break something? I don't know. Sure, let's grab a spiral projectile. Maybe we'll... Do we have an on-tick? Yeah, let's get another on-tick. So that way we can make this a little bit quicker. Want to keep my cooldowns kind of short. And then maybe let's do a spawn projectile. So I think what I'm missing here is I haven't noticed a lot of things that I want to happen on kill. Right? I would think that on kill would maybe there would be some buffs here. So, right, maybe there would be a node that says, like, increase your damage by 10% or something. It doesn't have to be that, but just something that's not just a straight attack. You know, because, like, everything is damage. You know, don't get me wrong, damage is good. But so far, a lot of these ping nodes, and it could just be that this character specifically is just, I mean, I know that when we picked the character, it said that he was very heavy, a heavy ping node character. Oh boy. So I'm wondering if the node selection is going to change from character to character. Okay, enemies are doing their area effect damage. Okay. So let's go ahead and increase that AoE radius. Nope, that's a yikes. That's a yikes. Okay, let's set up here. Oh yeah, we can collect these. Maybe. 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 We're having trouble killing any... Oh god, I'm surrounded. Yeah, I'm having trouble collecting any... Or, killing anything. Perhaps we use the friendly fire against them. Come on, collect faster, collect faster, collect faster, collect faster. God dang it, man. We're like always we're just so close to collecting it. I think we're dead here. No, okay, I snuck through. I don't think I'm going to be able to collect this one. Oh, we're just instantly dead. Okay. All right, let's jump back in. Let's try Hoppa. Hoptua? I don't know how to pronounce that. There are 4 for each in range. She'll track her enemies down, and there won't be a cure for her infection. All right, let's give this one a shot. Yeah, I don't know. Like, were they just getting, like way more health? It just, I don't know. It felt like it felt like enemies weren't really dying. Maybe I did something, kind of broke my tree and didn't do it properly. I don't know. Like I said, you guys there's going to be people, a lot of you guys out there, you know you're smarter than me. I know you're smarter than me. So you'll be able to figure out what was going wrong there. I figured with the overclocking, we'd have a bunch of damage, but I don't know. Just felt like we weren't getting the kills that I thought I should be getting. Or maybe I just was getting kills and there was just like a ton of enemies. Make our way out of here. What do we want to go for? Node cost reduction. Increases the value of bike coins by 20%. So do I already have 10%? Is that why it's saying plus 20? Or we could just increase the damage. Let's just increase our damage. Because again, we need to kill things. Alright, so we have an on tick for each unit in range. Apply 36 damage. Okay. Let's go for 2. Let's just grab that. We don't need to necessarily use it, but we can eventually. Spawn a circular way of pulling around the executor. So our range right here is 3.5, so there's no sense in having a pull at 2.5 meters. We have just damage in line. Oh, and it only shoots up. But we does this fire it twice? So, okay, well I ended up getting, well, it's a lesser damage one. That kind of sucks. I completely forgot the fact that it's going to do that. What about infect? Infects the executor for 5 seconds, causing 10 damage. Okay, so this is like the end node that I was really looking for. So I'm going to grab this as kind of my payoff here. So we have another on tick. We have a 4-2. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's see. So unfortunately, apply damage is kind of the last one that we can do if we don't want to do an infect. We can go ahead and do, we might have to just wait on this infect. Wait, for each unit, can I do this? No, because this is an on hit. Can I do this? Can I do this twice? So is this going to, for each unit in range twice, do damage? That's what I'm thinking it will do. Perhaps it might not work that way, but we'll see. To me, it does look like it's doing that. But it's hard to tell because, like, I'm seeing the number twice, but it's hard to tell if that's a graphical thing just because it's, like, bouncing up and down, or if it's actually hitting them twice. Right? Because you see how it's kind of like after it lands, I'm only seeing 136. Let's increase the for each range. Okay, so we can't exit the level. Let's just pick up these couple cheap nodes here. And what are these? Are these 50? Yep. I think I really want to go data upload speed, especially at the end there of that last run. I felt like if I had like 10 or 20% more pickup speed, I could have gotten a couple of those. Let's see. For each Bitcoin in range, creates a circular zone with a displayed radius, forcing all Bitcoins inside to execute the following notes. Ooh. This is actually an interesting one. Because what we could potentially do here could just do this. For each coin in range, spawn a mine. Maybe we aren't going to end up doing the effect. That's possible. Or the infect. We could collect, attempts to collect the executor. If unsuccessful, it tries to detach Bitcoins. If unsuccessful. Okay, so if you don't collect the executor, so does this only work then on for each Bitcoin? There's a push. Push is reasonable. We'll take that. So it'll push enemies away from us. There's also a damage in line, which I kind of just want to take. Just attach it here. So what I'm going to do here, just to test it this round, I want to see if it is doing what I think it's doing. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, so I don't think that it was actually doing 36 damage twice. I don't think the damage I think it's literally doing damage from the up direction. Right? I figured it was going to be a laser, but this looks like the damage is coming down, like, from the sky to my character. Increase the damage of your damage in line nodes by 120%. I'm not sure I'm understanding why it's saying 120%, but plus 40%. Unless it starts at 80%. And this is saying plus 40% to get to this 120%. I'm going to take player speed. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take a re-look at the damage from above. Now that I understand what it looks like, I can maybe like re-look at it and see if I'm using that. I'm probably using it incorrectly. But now I have a better understanding of what it's actually doing. Hang on. One other thing, I want to look at one other thing when it comes to Bitcoins turning into mines. How is that working? Okay, so they have to be in range and they turn into mines. Okay, so they are doing what I want them to do. So that one's working correctly. Or at least correctly in terms of how my brain thinks it should be working. It's more so ping random for each Bitcoin, 0 damage. Well, that seems kind of bad. Let's say ping random just for right now. Damage in line. Spawns a fire beam in one direction and inflicts damage to each enemy hit. Well, this one's to the right. Okay, maybe I was looking at the wrong thing then. Okay, what else do we have? We have another push. We have damage in line up. Right now we don't have anything spawning. We do have an on tick though, so we can grab that. And then we probably want to grab ping random. On kill. That probably would have been a good for spawn mine. Yeah, because this is a pretty short range, actually. Because what I'm thinking is that maybe the spawn mine should be... Maybe there should be something else here. Right? We could do something like this. Oh, well, this is probably going to pull all enemies. So maybe it should just be this. Basically, my thinking... Okay, well, I can see there's this laser right here. Oh, here's the one that's firing to the right. So what is coming from the top? What is that? I'm going to be completely honest. I literally didn't see this arrow from the right side before. I was so focused on this, like, this beam that keeps coming down. I just, I don't know. My brain's just not working. I don't know what that is. I mean, it's coming every time we're doing our singular ping. Yeah, I don't... So, I was playing around with the idea that we could turn, like, all the extra bitcoins into mines, but realistically, the area is kind of really small, and so what's kind of happening is I either collect them or I move on fast enough that they don't really turn into mines. Unless you have, like, that. That happens, and then they just are all going to explode. So I guess it's pretty reasonable. Their exploding area is actually pretty big. On player hit, do 10. Okay. Sure. Yeah, so what is actually... Maybe it's a push? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on here to keep track of. Let's see. What else do we want to do? Scan for data chip? No. Damage in line. I mean, we could just get... Let's just get one to the left. Sure. And we don't have... Actually, I don't have anything to trigger it. We could just do after a kill. Let's see. So after a kill, what do we want to do after a kill? After a kill, let's just ping near. So that way we might be spreading that a little bit. On player hit, let's do damage in line to the left. Right? Because infect... So infect is a weird one. Like, we have to have... basically, we have to have things shooting. So, like, not the damage in line, but we have to have, like, the ping, right? Or we have to change... Basically, we have to change the executor. Because obviously, we don't want that to be me, right? So we would have to have things like... I'm assuming spawn mine? Executes the following nodes for each enemy affected. Yeah, so we'd have to do, like, spawn mine into infect, or ping random into infect in order to get that working. Okay, while we got no one around us, let's get the big one. Yeah, and now that we have this, like, crazy data retrieval speed, we'll kind of just be able to blow through this level. Come on, get out of my way. Get out of my way. Thank you. And especially with the push here, we can just buy a ton of time. I mean, look at that. Just way, way easier. Way easier. Oh, the AoE build has finally worked for... Oh my god, can you imagine if I died literally like 2 seconds before exiting the level? The AoE build finally worked. We've had so many runs where the AoE level just doesn't work. There we go. Now, I will say... this right now the game feels very short. Only 5 levels doesn't really feel like it's enough time to get anything busted going. If I had to guess, that would just be a demo thing, but I can't say for certain because I am not the developers. So I don't know exactly what the goal is. Yeah, so really what I was kind of looking for again was just kind of those payoff nodes. We saw one being infect. But I was kind of hoping for more either just like stat stuff, right? A lot of like the end nodes we were seeing was just like another ping. So it's just kind of like, okay, so we're going to chain a ping into another ping into another ping. I'm sure there's more busted things you could do. I'm sure that there's ways that you could probably like on tick, you know, ping an enemy, then do an AoE, then everybody affected by the AoE gets infected, then everyone that's infected takes double damage. Like, I'm sure that there's probably going to be people who can figure out those chains and how to make them work properly. I'm sure I was making mistakes on different ways to connect. That all being said, taking my play skill out of the equation, I think that this is actually cool. We've tried a couple different games like this. There was a wand one that we did way back a couple months ago that was similar, not exact, but it was a lot of these like, if you do X, do Y, then after you do Y, do Z, and then Z splits off to an A and B. So we've seen ones like this before. I think this one has definitely its own kind of style, right? Because the player character and the NPCs are all very simple, literally just like one or two images, right? You had a still version of the player character and a moving version of the character, which I think is, you know, something that games like, people like to get caught up in the graphics a lot, right? I've talked about the fact that I was definitely like one of these pixel peepers. I didn't want to play any game that didn't look like, or that looked like it came out of the mid 2000s or even mid 2010s. I was like, ugh, these graphics look ugly. I don't want to play that. And now I'm just like, whatever, who cares? Is the game good? And I think that there's definitely a lot going here. I think that one of the things that might scare people away who, and to be fair, this game might not be targeting players who are necessarily new to the genre or new to like indie games, is just, and this might be me overthinking it, right? But I have a feeling that if I had some hesitations toward this, that other people might as well, is just the fact that a lot of these like menu settings or like menu systems here, for example, are written thematically to the game. It was a little bit hard for me at first to figure out like what things were. So like, for example, who equals who? I didn't exactly know what that meant, but then it was clearly like, oh, it's the team. Like, that makes sense. Life goals, I don't even know what this is. I'm gonna be honest. It might actually be quests, but it makes sense the more you look at it. Like, now that I'm looking at it, this clearly is like upgrades. And library, I'm assuming, is going to be just a collection of all your upgrades, basically the compendium of the game. We want you, I'm assuming that's going to be either, hey, we're hiring, we need help, or we want you to just join the Discord. Yeah, just join the Discord or wish list, right? Settings here, obviously. Just, I think the way that it's worded and like all the nodes, how they have like different wordings, I'm wondering if that's just going to scare some people away, but likely the people that you're scaring away are probably not going to stick around for long anyway. Again, not that that's like a negative thing towards the game, just kind of something that I observe. And I'm like, when I make comments like that, I'm kind of thinking towards the lowest common denominator, and I don't mean that in an insulting way, so don't even think I'm trying to imply something like that. Right, when you're looking at market share, you got to look at like, who is these people are 100% going to play the game. Whatever we do, we can literally leave like a dog turd on their porch and they're still going to be like, hey, we're still going to play your game. And then you have the bottom tier who, if you don't capture them in like the first 5 seconds, they're gone, right? And obviously companies are probably going to be looking more towards that middle, because you don't really want to try super hard to capture the people at the bottom. But the people who maybe are like right on the edge, is that going to be a thing that either pushes them one way or the other? I don't know. That's just one of the reasons why I bring it up and talk about. But other than that, guys, it's pretty fun. I did want to say that the game starts out very slow. Not necessarily on the difficulty even on the difficulty we played. What I noticed is that there was a giant ramp up, kind of in, I think it was round 4, but more specifically round 5, there was a giant ramp up in difficulty. I think I even mentioned it in the first 3 levels, how I was kind of surprised that I thought there would be I thought it would be a little bit harder, and then it was kind of like, oh, okay, level 5 comes in, there's just a million enemies. Although, again, I may have broken something in my build, or it might not have been working like I thought. I don't know. But in the first difficulty, like I said, you could definitely just walk through it without even taking a damage node. There was just like no enemies. The second version, or the second difficulty, is more what I expected the first one to be like. So that is also something, if the developer's watching, maybe take that into consideration. That, to me, like, if I'm a player who, like, I went through the first level so that way we could play the second level in a video. But if somebody's playing your demo for the first time and they're someone with, again, they're not going to stick around for more than 15-20 minutes to try out the game, right? If they jump in and they play that first one and there's not that many enemies, they might just check out thinking that the game is too easy before they even get to that second level. So just, again, something to consider and something to look at. I don't think that really affects the ultimate quality of the game, but just something I wanted to make mention of just in case they do watch it. I know a lot of kind of indie devs have watched my videos in the past, so I like to make little footnotes for them just in case they do watch. But guys, what do you think of Net.Attack? Let me know, and of course, let them know if they are watching down below in the comment section. And if you had fun hanging out with me today, if you liked what you saw, would you kindly smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more roguelite action? Because I'm out of here for this one. I've been Ganyonz. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.